Alright, welcome back everybody. Those are my dogs. Let's go take a look at what we got here. So we got the motor back from the electric motor guy. So what it turned out to be was one of the capacitors, I think, was shot, he said. I think it was, he said, hi, what do you want? What do you want? You want to work on the motor too? He said what happened was one of the capacitors was gone. I can't remember if it was the run or the start capacitor, but this one's got two. So yeah, he got that fixed up. He said the motor works fine. So that's promising, because if the motor works fine, and as long as that switch works, and we can get that hooked back up, then we're away to the races. We have ourselves a compressor, pretty much. So, yeah, why don't we get that mounted back on, and then after we do that, we'll hook it up, and then go plug it in. Gotta wait for my cousin to get here first, though, because he's supposed to be helping me with this, because I can't lift any of this stuff. So, all right. While I was waiting for my cousin to show up, which he's still not here because he's late, I just hooked this little line up here because that little thing I can still do. I just can't do any of the heavy lifting or any of the maneuvering of that kind of stuff. So that's hooked up. And once he gets here, we'll hook up the motor. Alright, everybody, welcome back to another day. We didn't get this done the other day when my cousin was supposed to come. He couldn't make it. So I got another friend of mine help me out today. He's going to be doing all the heavy lifting and stuff. Problem is he's a little bit camera shy, so you won't see him a lot on camera. But we'll tell you what's being done, and then he'll do it, and then we'll show it done and stuff like that. So we'll kind of go step by step like that with it. So this is the motor that I said we had for it. So we're going to bolt that back on. And I'm going to take it off here and clean this stuff up first. And then I'm going to bolt that back on. Then we're going to rewire everything. Wire from the motor back to the switch, and then wire the switch to this. I'll probably use this cable that's on it, and then just take the plug from the other one and put it on that cable. And then, yeah, put the belt on. I did this the other day while I was waiting for my cousin to show up. But yeah, once we get that done, this should work, supposedly. So why don't we get started on that? And so yeah, first thing we're going to do is pull this off, clean it, and then bolt this back up. Okay, as you can see, we have the motor on there. So now what we're going to do is tighten down those bolts. Well, actually not tighten down the bolts. We got to put the belt on, and then tighten the belt. Slide the motor back, tighten the belt, and then tighten up the motor. So now what we learned was if you put the belt on the pulley of the motor first, and then wrap it around onto the pulley of the compressor itself, or the head itself, then it's easier to get on, because the grooves in the pulley of the motor are a lot deeper, and the grooves in the pulley of the head aren't that deep, so it slides on easier. So that's the trick that we just learned. So we'll get that on, get the bolts tightened up, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we got the bolts tightened up on the motor there. But anyway, so the belt's on, it's tightened. So now we're just going to rewire everything. And then I'll show you how that's done after we're done it. And then we should be able to plug it in and test it. So cross your fingers. Let's hope that works. Alright, now for the easiest part of this job. At least what I think is the easiest part of this job. Is hooking up the wiring. Because it was all just plug and play, basically. So your ground goes right here. So this is the cable from the motor itself. And when it came apart, I believe the ground was here. Well, it's the only spot for the ground to go. So we'll take that out there. Not a lot of room to work here when the belt is on, but I don't want to take it off again because the motor's all tightened down and Shy Guy has gone home, so I have to do any lifting. He's not here to help anymore. So, alright, now we're just going to start a screwdriver. Okay, there's the, oops. That cable should all be behind this bracket here. Let's get that all in there before I go too much further, if I can get it in there. Okay, so make sure both cables have their outer casing up through the gap there. And then tighten this down, holds it in place. I don't know if you can see this or not, it's just a little bracket on the side here that holds the cables. Now, from what I can gather from the pictures that were taken and sent to me, I'm just going to double check, but I believe the black wire from the motor goes here on the left, and the white wire goes on the right, and then on the top two prongs, the wires from the plug or from the outlet, black here, white, they're red there. I'm just going to double check my pictures. Yeah, so the black one goes on the left. If I can get my fingers in there. Okay, so black wire on the left. Still just barely enough slack there. Okay, white wire on the right, and then at the top we had the black on the left and the red on the right. That's the way it came out. So hopefully that's the way it's going to work. Go back in. So this is my little switch here, but I'm missing the cover for it. So I'm going to have to get another one for it, but that's the on-off switch. So we'll just have to use a pair of pliers to do that or something when we test it. But that's on. So now all we have to do is wire the plug, and we can test this thing out. Well, we wanted to test the compressor today, but we can't because we don't have any compressor oil. And I want to do an oil change in it before I fire it up. I can't see the oil level, and I don't know what they've done to it or anything like that. So I'm going to get some of that, and then we'll fire it up tomorrow when I get some new compressor oil. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, we're back on the compressor rebuild. So the motor's in, my buddy helped me put that in. I got the belt on, electrical's hooked up. We still don't have the cover for that yet, but we're waiting on that. The last thing we videoed, we were waiting on the oil to do an oil change because there wasn't enough in there and I didn't have any oil. So we got the new oil, did the oil change. It's all topped up, ready to go. So today we're going to plug it in for the first time and see if she runs. So let's see if it blows up. Well, nothing blew up. That's a good sign. Alright, let's fire it up for the first time and see what happens. Let's see what pressure we're at here. So yeah, it is completely empty. Let's make sure this is closed. We should probably make sure that the drain is closed. So now we're going to very carefully, so that we don't electrocute ourselves, turn this knob right here. And you know what I'm going to do over here, my arm is not near the wheel. Let's see if she'll fire up. Hey, it works. Oh. Look around and see if you see anything going on, like anything burns up or anything. I don't see anything going on right now. Well, we'll keep an eye on this air pressure thing here and we'll find out when she shuts off or if she shuts off. Because I don't know this compressor at all, I am going to leave the shop until it fills up. That way if something goes wrong, I'm not in here. You guys can stay in here and let me know what happens. Well, you guys are still here, so I guess that's a good sign. Well, there we go, folks. It shuts off. Let's go see what she shuts off at. You know what? I'll bring you with me. I'll have to do this quickly because my battery's dying, but let's see. Well, she shut off at about 140, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this valve, and I'm going to release some air and see if it kicks back on. Now we'll let her see if she'll shut off again on her own, and if she does, then we're good to go. Well, there we go. Shuts off at 140 again. So it appears we have ourselves a compressor. All we're going to do then, I guess, is get a cover for the switch, or a whole new switch. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can find just the cover. I noticed a couple of little things as I was walking around while it was running that I wanted to check. So we have some oil coming out right here, but I don't know if that's from a leak or if that's from over spillage from when we were filling it up. That's the one thing. We have to build a guard for it apparently. They had to buy a guard for it. I don't know if you can buy them anymore. And there was something else I noticed. What was it I noticed? Oh yeah, and I want to change or clean out the air filter. I'm guessing that's the intake air filter right there. We'll clean that up. Looks like in order to build or get a guard for this, we're going to have to move the engine over a bit. It looks like there's spacing there for it to move over, so we'll probably do that because the guard won't fit in there. Yeah, I think that's what we have left. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do the air filter, and then yeah, we'll go from there. The switch cover, not a big deal. Buy that, pop it on, and there we go. So now I've got to decide where I'm going to put it. Am I going to put it over here where my current one is, or am I going to put it outside there in its own room? We get below freezing temperatures here, so I don't know if I can put it outside. I'll have to do some research on that. Okay, back, then I'll fire it up and fill it full of air again. And I did notice right here at these pipes here out, which are very hot right now, this end and this end of this, the filler tube there, it's got a little tiny leak at the bottom and a slightly smaller one at the top. I don't think they're bad enough to do anything, to be an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like filled up with air like this, and we'll wait and see if it comes back on and how long it takes to come back on. That'll tell me how much air I'm losing. So yeah, I'll be back when we do that. Okay, we're back again. It did kick back on and then turn back off again, but it took like well over 45 minutes to go down enough air for that to have to come back on. Actually, I think even longer than that. So I'm not that worried about those leaks. I'm going to leave them because sometimes once you start messing with those things, if you try to tighten it or something, the flare will pop off on you, and then it'll blow the whole line, and then you're just asking for trouble. So I think if it ain't broke that much, don't fix it. And that ain't broke that much, so I'm going to leave it until it actually becomes a problem, and then I'll deal with it then. There's no point in opening a can of worms, or a can of air, in this case. So yeah, I think, yeah, we're just going to order a cover for that, and wait for that to come in, and we'll get building that guard. So I think that's it. So not bad for a, I think I put about $100 total. I'm into this thing. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And I got myself a 60-gallon compressor. So, and as you heard, this one is way quieter than that little thing. Actually, a lot louder than the bigger one. I thought the bigger one would be louder. And that little thing is running constantly because of some of the stuff that I do. Like I run these little things here, like little spot weld removers, little air saws and stuff like that, and my little die grinder, my impact driver. They suck up a lot of air, so that thing's always going whenever I'm doing a project with those. This one here won't be running anywhere near as much. So, but anyway, yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope this video was entertaining or even maybe a little bit helpful. If you have any questions about these compressors, leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you the best I can and give you any info I can on the knowledge that I have. So, well, I guess I'll see you in the next video.